Okay, so welcome everyone. I will share my screen. There we go. And sorry guys, I'm just trying to, I forget every single week how to, because I can't see you guys, you see, I think you can see me, but there you go. Okay, at any time you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, just go ahead, okay? You're not interrupting me, it's totally fine. That's the whole point of these sessions. Very grateful to be with everyone. How many is there tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of us, 7 of us, okay? All good. We'll start with a little meditation. Tonight I'm going to share a massive secret with you guys, which is, I'll explain the power and significance of what I'll be sharing with you tonight. But yeah, we're up to chapter 26, and we'll start by closing our eyes and just take a deep breath in and just release everything. It's already been a question about karma. What is it? Where does it start? Where does it end? These are massive questions, great questions. I love these type of questions. I'm happy to share a little bit on karma tonight. But with the secret that I'm going to share with you guys tonight, you guys can get answers to these questions, okay? So we're going to move energy through the body just to start with, okay? So each of the 10 spaces in the body are linked to 10 conditions, natures of Tao. Tao is the source of nature. So we'll use body power, which is sit up straight. We'll use the yin-yang palm position if you forgot it. Left hand, right hand grabs the left thumb, roll over. And we're going to put this at the base of the body, the very bottom between the genitals and the anus, just in line with that. Doesn't have to be under the body. And we're going to invoke the 10 Das. In Chinese, it's Shida, S-H-I, Da, Shida. If you're going to write it in English, but for Chinese, Shida. So the 10 Das are, excuse me, light, gratitude, humility, love, service, forgiveness, enlightenment, compassion, flourishing, and harmony. And we're going to move this through the body right now. So mind power, both soul power and mind power together. As I invoke the soul world for this tonight's session, see them, feel them. Master Shah, my teacher, is emphasizing right now, master one, master all. So let's say you are really drawn to the condition of compassion. If you fully meld and embody compassion, you're embodying all 10 conditions. You are being humble, loving, forgiving. You will flourish. Okay, you will bring in light. You will reach enlightenment. Therefore, master one, master all. Guan Yin mastered one sense. Through her hearing, she's mastered all senses. She can hear through her speech, her smell, everything. Okay? It's deep, deep wisdom. Master Shah has been sharing some epic wisdom lately as he's moving through the Tao Te Ching and the Heart Sutra. He's really, really sharing a lot of beautiful, beautiful wisdom. So, dear soul, mind, body of Shida, 10 Das, and all beings connected to the 10 conditions of Tao, dear divine and Tao, you have a physical teacher, you can call them. The Yuanling, all enlightened souls from all traditions. They are every soul of our being, our body soul, our original soul, our Yuanshan, Shishan, it's a body soul Shishan. Our systems, organs, cells, DNA, RNA, spaces of the body, acupuncture points, meridian lines, 5 elements and more. Every soul of our being. We love, honor, and appreciate you all. The Tien, all layers of heaven. Di, Mother Earth. Ren, human beings. All life in between. We love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Please forgive us any souls we've ever hurt, consciously or unconsciously, with our thoughts, actions, and speech. Please forgive us. Please forgive our ancestors. We will serve more. Feel that, see light coming in, okay, from all these souls, and nourishing and cleansing and healing the mistakes we've made, and help, help and heal those that we've hurt. There are any souls that have ever hurt or harmed me or my ancestors or each other. I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. I'm grateful for the opportunity you've given me to move deeper into compassion and experience offering forgiveness. I love you. Please forgive me. I forgive you. All souls forgive each other. Bring love, peace, harmony. Now rest your awareness down into the first soul house and just feel the condition of light. See light coming from all the different realms on earth, all the different countries on earth, from Mother Earth herself, from nature, from the present moment, and from all layers of heaven, all our spiritual fathers and mothers, the divine Tao and Tao realms. And always keep our hands on the lower abdomen, on the first soul house. If we're moving our consciousness around the body into the spaces, this keeps a foundation. So with that awareness, just bring our awareness to the second soul house, which is just below the navel inside the body. It's in between the first and the navel. It's in between there. And just flood your body with light and the feeling of gratitude. I've heard people say they struggle to embody a feeling. If this is the case for you, if you can't just tap in and feel what gratitude feels like, then think of something you're grateful for and then feel it in the body. And just take a few breaths here. Breathe in gratitude, breathe out gratitude. And then move the awareness up to behind the navel. And feel and breathe in humility. Why do all streams flow to the sea? Because the sea is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. Be humble. Be harmless. Be blameless. Now bring your attention to your heart chakra and feel and breathe in and out the condition of love, unconditional love. And if you can't just do that, think of something you deeply love and then feel it in the body. Next, bring your awareness to your throat and feel the condition of unconditional service, selfless service, Da Fu Wu. Disasters come from our speech. It doesn't necessarily mean disasters outside. If you're constantly giving yourself a bad message, you'll manifest sickness in the body. Align yourself with the selfless nature of nature and bring your awareness up to the 6th chakra or soul house behind the eyes. This also nourishes the Zhu Chao in the bone cavity in between your eyebrows. The Zhu Chao is a key energy center as well. And breathe in forgiveness, embody forgiveness, feel forgiveness. Both ways, offering forgiveness, asking for forgiveness. Who do we ask for forgiveness from? God, nature, Tao. Please forgive me for my mistakes. God's forgiveness is unconditional. Bring your attention to your crown chakra, your 7th soul house. See a lotus flower open up. A Da Yuan Man, enlightenment. Feel Shen Qi Jing Hui, soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter, enlightenment. Soul, mind, body, enlightenment. And if you want an image for this, is just see infinite light nourishing every part of your being. So you can't even see the difference between the organs and the systems. There's no separation. It's just light. And we're going to bring this energy down the back now, down the spine, to behind the navel, the Ming Men point, the Tao point in the body, the Tao gate. And embody compassion. Nature of Tao is compassionate. And breathe that in. It's love with understanding. Understand the suffering of those who hate others. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Now move this energy to the lower dantian, which is go to the navel and then go just below the navel, but not as far back or as low as the 2nd chakra, just in that space there. Key energy center for longevity and accumulating energy. Da Changsheng. Flourishing. When you follow the Tao by aligning with Shi Da, the 10 Das, you flourish because you're moving with nature. You're not resisting nature. So feel that. As you breathe in and breathe out, feel harmony in your body. Feel good health. Feel positive thinking, true positive thinking, which is not taking sides. It sees the bigger picture. Feel your relationships flourish, your finances flourish. And then we're going to move this energy to the Kundalini, the Snow Mountain area, which is the base of the tailbone, just in front. Da, Hirsch, yes, harmony, beautiful condition. And just feel balance, detachments, and harmony. Embody it. And then when you're ready, just be aware of how you're feeling. You don't have to label it. Just stay with the breath. And just be like an empty vessel that is detached and is ready to be filled with wisdom. And I will share chapter 26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus, the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. Now I'll work through this chapter, and if anyone wants to jump in at any time with a question or sharing your own insights, and remember, when you're open like this, starting with a meditation, you might get a completely new insight as we're reading the text. Share it, okay? In my understanding, Lao Tzu is explaining the nature of balance and interconnectedness. It's the yin-yang principles, okay? You can't explain up without down. The heavy is the root of the light. You know, if you want to have, if you want to reach the highest heavens, you need roots. If a tree wants to reach the highest heavens, its roots need to be as deep as hell, okay? It's balance. They depend on each other. So the heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. All movement stems first from the unmoved state. Thus, the master travels all day without leaving home. You know, Lao Tzu says, not in this chapter, you don't need to take one step to travel the universe. Very similar sentence. Travels all day without leaving home. This is home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Not attached by views, not attached by beauty, completely appreciates beauty. Again, this is Lao Tzu trying to explain what it's like to be in harmony with the Tao by explaining what it looks like, okay? However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself, at peace within herself. Because you think about this, let's say someone's suffering from stress, anxiety, depression, you can show them the most beautiful views and they won't see it. They won't appreciate it. They'll label things, oh, well, that's that. They look at the stars, that's the Big Dipper. There's the, you know, there's all these Orion's belt and all the rest of it. It's the mind labeling everything. And you're not at peace. But however splendid the views, the sage stays serenely in herself. She admires nature for what it is. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. I've experienced this. We've all experienced this. You're not grounded, okay? And everybody you meet or every life situation or a few things seem like they're overwhelming you. You're just getting pulled everywhere. You feel completely scatty. And, you know, again, why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? Look at the political leaders of today. That's exactly what they're doing. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. This is also, in these next few chapters, is really explaining the principles of Vipassana in Buddhism. And we'll get onto them in a minute. But does anybody want to share anything up to now, or do you want me to just keep rolling? Because I want to try and get through 1, 2, 3, 4 chapters tonight. If we don't, totally fine. But a good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is. Thus, the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you'll get lost. However intelligent you are. It's the great secret. These are powerful chapters. A good traveler, again, there's no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. They've already arrived. Now, this is a Buddhist teaching as well, same teaching. Where are we heading to? We want to always get somewhere, okay? Finish that university degree, I'll be happy. No, now I've done that, I'll get my house and then I'll be happy. But where's the end? Where's the end destination? It's the coffin. So a good traveler, there's no fixed plans, not intent upon arriving, they're already here. You know, our Buddhist mantra is, I need nothing. I've heard this from a number of Rinpoches. Remind yourself all day, I need nothing. I need nothing. It's a powerful mantra. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. This is Shen Qi Jing Hui, okay? In Taoism, they let the three brains make decisions. First brain, science has found brains, actual brain cells in the heart and in the gut. They're the three dans, the dantians, upper dantian, middle dantian, lower dantian, okay? So when these three are in harmony, we are in a flow state. So a good artist lets his intuition lead him. It's not just the mind thinking, oh, that'll look nice there. It is a whole being that is creating the art. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is. To what is right here and now. You know, when we look at what the ego does, based on our past experiences, you know, if this was a bottle of wine, you have a sip of wine, based off what we've experienced before, the ego tries to put the experience in a box. Might say it's too dry, it needs this, it needs that, it's not fruity enough, whatever. Instead of just experiencing the experience fully. So a good scientist keeps his mind open, okay? Freed himself from concepts, and he's open to what is. Thus, the master is available to all people and rejects no one, doesn't reject anyone. This is important. In the you know, when you a true sage doesn't actually see right, wrong, good or bad. You look at Jesus. Jesus was begging God for the forgiveness of those that were torturing him. Okay. This is what he's emphasizing here, actually. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. Again, this ego mind that limits everything. I had a conversation with Fletch about this today. It's interesting that it came up because I did a flow with Ami Tofu when I first learned how to do soul communication. And in the insight and the message I got, it was everything's in communication. And life doesn't choose who it communicates with. There's not only a few souls who are chosen to be communicated with. They're just the few souls throughout history that have been open and quiet enough to receive messages from God or from nature. And in my flow, Ami Tofu said, how can you hear what nature's saying when your mind doesn't stop thinking? And I had a moment of stillness, and I could hear the grass communicating, the insects, the trees, and there's messages in that. I was quiet enough through the experience to receive guidance and wisdom from everything around me. But the message was, when we're noisy, we just bring all of our noise and talking and time into this tiny little box in our head. And we cut out, this is separation consciousness, this is the ego. When we come in here, we are cutting ourselves off from all life. But here he's saying he is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. He's not in here. This is gone. He is open, ego-free, and one with everything. Doesn't waste anything. Receives messages from the whole all the time. This is called embodying the light. An example of this, I think I may have shared this before. Let's say you have a room and the room is lit up and there's no shadow in the room, just light. If you put like a chair in there, okay, the chair might cast a shadow. Separation, something has separated the light and created a shadow. But if there's no separation in there, there's no ego consciousness, this is embodying the light. You are one with all and truly embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? Again, there is no good or bad here. It's saying there's a purpose for everyone. A good man plays the role of helping a bad man. Without a bad man, the good man can't do his job. Okay, this is balance. This is interdependence. You can't even say someone's a good man without understanding what a bad man is. Chuang-Tzu, who's a great, they called him the rascal saint, he's a legend. Chuang-Tzu only spoke of insignificant things. And his disciples used to say, everything you say, master, is so pointless. Why'd you do it? And he said, the pointless stuff I share is just as important as what you think's important. Because if the pointless stuff wasn't there, you wouldn't have important stuff. So he called it the usefulness of uselessness, okay? And this is just to get the disciples out of this rigid right, wrong, good or bad mentality, okay? If you don't understand this, you'll get lost however intelligent you are. Why do you think you'll get lost? Because you're on the battlefield. I'm a light worker and I'm fighting the dark, okay? If you're a light worker, you need the dark. Because if you're on the battlefield, you've got no one to fight otherwise. I'm sure there'll be some questions on that. It is the great secret. So there's a lot of information there. So if anyone wants to ask any questions or share anything, please go ahead. If not, we'll keep rolling.
Hello,
Okay.
Nick.
Yep,
just wanted to add what I also see in what is a good man but a bad man's teacher, and what is a bad man but a good man's job. And so a good man can offer service to the bad man just by the actions he takes, if he wishes, obviously, to learn from that. And again, like you said, you know, a good man's job is to serve, like you said on the battlefield, you know, serve all beings. That's all I wanted to add.
Absolutely, absolutely, and he needs someone to serve.
That's right. Yeah.
If the bad man, thank you for sharing, Silvana. If the bad man didn't have a strong purpose, if there wasn't a universal reason for the bad man, he wouldn't exist in nature. Anyone else? I can feel a question coming.
I was just going to say that, you know, I learned a long time ago that there is no good or bad. It's just how we perceive things. And that, you know, most people do things with good intent, even though it might not be good intent for me or you, but it's a good intent for them. So it's also, you know, looking at that and staying apart from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Okay, keep rolling. Again, he's going to touch more on similar principles here. So Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you cannot do. Know the personal, yet keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block. Thus, she can use all things. Very similar to what we've just gone over. Know the male, yet keep the female. Yeah, we don't really, I mean, if you want to add anything to that, you can. But it's, to my understanding, this is just pointing on detachment again, you know, detachment and allowing things to be as they are. Accept the world as it is. This is fundamental principle of Vipassana. Vipassana is to allow, you know, sit in silence 10 days, 10 nights, and allow things to be as they are. Whatever comes up, let it come up, and then let it go. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void. Again, the woo world. Okay, this is where Master Shah's just shared this. I just listened to him share this. Actually, it was so beautiful. He said, the woo world has no names there. Okay, and from the woo world, the world of the form and names is born. So the master knows the utensils, he knows the world of form and names, but he keeps to the block, he keeps to the woo world. This is the slide that we've gone over. I haven't got it close. Basically, there is a world of form that we observe, and there's a world of the Tao, which is the creator of this reality. And the master keeps to the woo world, aligns with the intelligence and the force behind the world of the utensils, for example, we share in here. And we can align with that by simply not attaching to the world. And I think he talks about it in this chapter. Okay, I was just going to say, not trying to change things necessarily outside of us. So chapter 29, do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There is a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. It's a powerful, powerful, these blow my mind. Even just when I read them, I've read this so many times. I don't know, I just get so much from it. So do you want to improve the world? Well, the ego does want to improve the world. I want to improve the world, but it's more, I find what he's pointing at here is trying to improve it to how we want it to be, and seeing that it's not perfect. Okay, Lao Tzu is saying, I don't think it can be done because the world is already sacred. It can't be improved, which is when we're looking at maybe healing the world or improving the world, we might be looking at it in terms of maybe stopping what's happening to the world. I get that. But he's saying the world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. That's what we're doing right now. We're tampering with the world and we're ruining it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. And then this section where he's saying there's a time for being behind, ahead, in motion, at rest, vigorous, exhausted, state, safe, and in danger. Again, this is being one with what is. There is a time for all of this. You know, I got sick the other week, as you all know, a few weeks ago. I didn't do a COVID test, right? And I did do things to support the body's detoxing, but I didn't try and stop it, okay? Because there's a time for being sick. There's a time for everything. There's a time, as he's saying, the master sees things as they are without trying to control them. This is where gratitude comes in as well, and surrender, to be honest with you. You look at Jesus' situation. Jesus has come up twice now in this in tonight's session. Look what Jesus did. You know, Master Shah's actually shared Jesus could have stopped what happened to him. He had the spiritual abilities to have stopped that. But not my will, but thy will be done. Okay? If he'd have stopped that, maybe he would not have saved as many people as he did. He surrendered. He saw things as they were, and he didn't try and control them. He used everything he had. This is what we've just gone over. He used everything life gave him to try and save the situation. He naturally loves everybody, and because of that, he understood their suffering. Oh my goodness, these people believe they're doing the right thing by all these beings trying to literally embarrass and torture one person. These poor people, God, with that understanding, he naturally forgave them. Please forgive them, God. And he brought light to one of the darkest situations in history. Okay. And these are the 4 pillars Master Shah talks about in every one of his books: love, forgiveness, compassion, light. Jesus is a beautiful example of that. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. In the Zen tradition, they say every snowflake lands perfectly in its place. This is to emphasize trust that the Tao knows what it's doing. It's beyond us. Nature is perfect. And by surrendering like this, we can move in harmony with nature rather than resisting nature. Sure, there'll be some questions before. Can you guys still see me? I've just got a message saying that my internet connection is unstable. Can you hear me okay still?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, you're a bit jumpy.
Bit jumpy.
Yeah.
A bit jumpy for everyone, am I?
Not for me.
But I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Same,
I apologize. Okay. Well, if there's no questions, we'll go on to the last chapter for tonight. Chapter 30. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force, there is a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of his control and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. It's such a beautiful chapter. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try and force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. Right now, we are literally counter, the complete opposite to governing men with the nature of Tao. Okay, we do force issues, and we do try and defeat enemies by force of arms. We are literally counter to the Tao right now. For every force, there is a counter force. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. I've reflected on this many times, you know what I mean? I come from a family which is, pretty tough family. My dad's pretty tough. My mum's tough. My brother's, my brother loves a scrap. My sister's hard as nails. And they've always been down for a scrap, you know what I mean? And I've reflected on this, what if something happened and, you have to, I had to fight to help somebody else? I heard Chogyam Trungpa touch on this. I don't want to spend too much time going into this, but Chogyam Trungpa said, he got asked the question about when Jesus flipped the tables, when he saw the spiritual priests charging to get in the churches or whatever it was. I'm sorry, I'm not really up on the Bible. Silvana, you can correct me if I'm going wrong here. And Chogyam Trungpa said he thinks that's very necessary, because Jesus was responding to his environment. Okay, now I'll give you an example. It's not something. This is something I've done so much forgiveness on, and it really haunts me. But when I was younger, someone broke into my mum and dad's house. Okay, and a lot of my friends, they told me who it was. And a couple of days later, I was only young then, maybe 21 or something. A couple of days later, someone said, "Oh, that guy's walking past your house, and he was on drugs and what have you." And long story short, I went out, I ran down the street after him, and I beat him up basically. I'm not proud of that. But I always remember when I came back to the house, I looked down the street at him and he was lying on the floor, and then he ended up regaining consciousness, and he stood up, and it'll haunt me forever. I'll never forget how his body language, because he had his back to me, was just so sad. And I thought to myself, and I'm sharing it for a purpose. The reason I'm sharing it is because that wasn't natural for my environment. If I'd have seen somebody beating up a young kid and I needed to use force in the moment, okay, that's not what I did here. This was a few days later. I didn't know for 100% whether it was this guy. And I could have saved him, okay? I could have gone and spoke to him and just shown him love, even if he did do it. By being a better example, I may have touched his heart, and he may have never wanted to steal again. But I missed that opportunity because I was young and stupid. And it's really something I've had to work on for years. And I've reflected on many different situations over the years, and I believe this to be absolutely true. Violence, even well-intentioned, will always rebound upon oneself. The master does his job and then stops. Okay, how much, look at me now, look at how much talking I'm doing. You see the true masters, they speak, they move people, they stop. They allow a break, they allow the Tao to enter silence. He understands that the universe is forever out of control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. You think about people who are always trying to convince others or get their point across. It usually comes from a state of lack of confidence, self-confidence or self-love. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Whatever I share, whatever I do, doesn't matter what you think about it. I'm not here to get your approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. This is a great teaching right now, because so many people feel lonely. So many people feel not accepted by the family, not accepted by the community. All these different genders and things that are coming up is because I believe a lot of people are so confused and lonely, they want to fit in somewhere, but it fundamentally starts from not accepting yourself. So I've spoke a lot there. If anyone wants to share anything, that's our last chapter we're going to go over tonight. And you can share anything on any one of the chapters we've gone through. We just flew through 4 chapters there. Hello, Josie. Judy.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, guys.
I'm so sorry. I've been in and out. My phone died, and then I managed to get in, and then it hadn't. I wasn't charging it properly, so I then lost connection, and so I do apologise. Lovely to be back on again.
Yeah, nice to hear your voice. Does anyone have anything they want to share?
Yeah, I did actually, Nick, just on that part, for every force there is a counter force. I think it's very powerful, particularly, for me, I mean, this is how I understand it, and it could be a misinterpretation, but, it's very karmic. Like, the more you force a situation, like we're currently, in the current climate as well, whether it be, macro or not, but, the more we force something, the more we have repercussions. Like, the more like, you can see why people are fighting or trying to stand up against the current narrative, so to speak. You can see how it plays out. There's the more we push and push and push unnaturally. Yep. So it's everywhere, isn't it? Whether we do it with our own children, whether we do it in our own lives, or whether on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, and even if you look at that topic, and thanks for sharing, but even if you look at that subject that you just mentioned, the negative forces on the earth that understand a lot of these principles, who intentionally go against nature and go against God because they have a different religious belief. What they do is they create an environment for a counter force. So if you look at this current narrative that you just mentioned, what is the most powerful way that we end it? It's simply the majority of people not complying. It's not actually the majority of people fighting back. It's actually that it's non-compliance. It's, if everybody believed in themselves, they wouldn't have to go and convince others that they were right. If everybody was content, and they wouldn't need other people's approval. This is how this is how these agendas fall away, because they accept themselves. The whole world accepts them. So, yeah. Thanks for sharing, Silvana. Any more?
You can't control anything outside of yourself. You can only control. You cannot control anything that's outside of yourself. You can only control what's inside. So, as you say, if you believe in yourself, you don't try and convince others. When I'm doing any presenting on any of these subjects, I will say at the beginning, it's not. I don't care if you believe me or not. My purpose for talking about this is so that you go and do your own research. I'm not attached to the fact that whether you believe it. I'm just giving you the information. It's up to you what you do with it.
Nice. Best way to share anything.
Mm.
Anyone else?
Yes, Nick, if I could just sort of try and tie in the karma part with the good man and the bad man. If we need the bad man, does the bad man get karmic reactions? And also the Master Shah's video that you shared with us this week, where he said the Tao creates war as well. So yeah, those sort of things are sort of confusing me at the moment.
So one thing I would suggest answer that to make it quite simple is we're in our layer of existence is the desire realm, okay, in Buddhism. So we are in the karma realm. So the way you step out of that, so the Heart Sutra explains it as reaching the other shore. Okay, the other shore, you have gone over the bitter sea. You're not attached anymore. You are free from karma. In the Taoist perspective, it's the yin-yang world. In this world, everything is paradoxical. It leans on each other. The yin-yang symbol swims towards each other. They depend on each other. They're interdependent. But that doesn't mean we're not creating karma and entanglement. Everything here, we create karma. I'll give you an example, right? I mean, maybe there is. I don't think there's anything we can do in this reality without causing suffering to someone somewhere. You get a cheap t-shirt or a nice t-shirt, an expensive t-shirt. The chances are there's been some suffering somewhere from this being created to get on your back, okay? Same with your computer, your phone, any food you eat. This is the karma realm. But through detachment and through service, we can purify our Shen Qi Jing. It's like the lotus flower grows in the mud. Okay, it needs the mud in this realm. It needs the mud, otherwise you won't have the lotus flower. If you look at a beautiful flower and a rock, the rock can, if it falls on the flower, it'll destroy it, and the rock won't even know it's destroyed. Okay, this is the heavy and the light in this reality. So karma is everywhere, but it's the Tao creates everything, because if you look at a new soul that comes into creation, a new soul, every soul has Buddha nature in Taoism, and in Buddhism, and in Taoism has Yuanshen, which is a Tao within the body. A lot of Christians miss this, but Christ nature is in all of us. It's the Buddha nature. It's enlightenment. It's one with God's nature, if you like, within the body. So we come from the source and we experience these things to grow. But it's like getting in the lotus pond. We get sticky, we accumulate karma, we get entanglement. I've shared this story before, but I'll share it again. You know, my wife used to always say, get sad and say, I wish I'd just gone to a Buddhist temple and never hurt anybody and never made the mistakes I've made in this life. And then we did a meditation when we were traveling, and when we finished the meditation, she was crying. And I said, what happened? She said, I had a vivid image of me in a past life being a female Buddhist nun, crying my eyes out, because I wanted to experience being in the world, experience having a husband and a child, and experience making mistakes so that I can feel what it feels like to truly ask for forgiveness and embody that experience, and even have people hate me so that I can offer forgiveness. So they don't you know, Master Shah's forgiveness mantra, when he released that song, he said, I purposely made it joyful. And it's a funny mantra. It's like, I forgive you, you forgive me, bring love, peace, and harmony. It's like really like, it's funny, it'll make you giggle. He said, I did that intentionally because forgiveness, mistakes, karma, when we experience forgiveness, it's a joyful thing. Okay, we are given other beings the opportunity to, excuse me, sorry, my dog's trying to get out. We are given other beings the opportunity to either offer us forgiveness or be forgiven. And we're having the opportunity to experience that as well. So karma is not necessarily the enemy. It is life's way of showing us what we need to purify.
Wow, thank you.
I hope that's shed some light on it. But, you know, I'll share some books with you. The books I was recommending is The Future is Open by Chogyam Trungpa. Another one is called Karma. It's a very nice book. I'll just get it up for you. I'll show you the image of it and who it's by. Okay, this one, it's a nice book. It is by Traleg Kyobdgon. It's a funny Tibetan name. That's the cover. And I can send that to you guys. It's just called Karma. These are nice Buddhist texts. Master Shah's wrote a book called Divine Transformation. It's a red book, which is based on understanding karma. And the fundamental basis of that book, if I was to sum it up in a few sentences, is based off our past experiences, when we come into this life, and this, in my opinion, goes in harmony with the simulated universe. If you think of what we use simulation for now, in this life, we use simulations for like firefighters and pilots so that people can experience getting put in a sticky situation in a plane, for example, and have a real experience without harming themselves. Okay, if you look at every religion, they say that life is like a training ground for what happens after. So when we come into the world, we come in with a karmic record, and that karmic record might be the things we need to experience. Now, let's say, just for example, when I came in, my karmic record said that Nick is going to have these parents experience this, and right now, as he stands, he's going to have a car accident. Let's say he's going to die at 35. Now, that is always subject to change, because if I create a lot more suffering, if I get lost and I create a lot more suffering, sorry, that's my wife just letting the dog out. I can bring my death forward. Okay, I might die when I'm 18. But if I offer service, selfless service, I might extend my life. So that's called divine transformation. That's showing how we can change our life path, our destiny. And it's a beautiful text as well. So what I'm going to do is any more questions? Do you want to ask any more questions? Or is that enough on that? Okay. Before we go on to this, I'm just going to go and use the bathroom. If anyone wants to use the bathroom, they can. And then I'll be There you go. Is everyone back?
Yeah.
Okay. Soul language. What is soul language? Okay. When Master Shah's teacher, Honey wants to just say hello. Sorry, everyone. I'll say hello and then you're going to have to go, okay? Good deal. Master Guo had daughters, and they all worked in his healing center in China. And one of his daughters had very open spiritual channels. One night, this is before Master Sha ever met Master Guo. One night, Master Guo had a clear message sent to him in the middle of the night. So he woke up and he was given a code, okay, 3396815. So he got up and he wrote it down. He got a clear message that his daughter received it as well. So he went into his daughter's room in the middle of the night. And when he knocked on the door and went in, she was writing down the same number. So he worked with this number and he chanted it in Chinese, which is San San Jolio Bayawu, okay? And we'll go over this. San San Jolio Bayawu. Now, he had incredible spiritual channels, Master Guo, incredible third eye. And what he found was when you chant that sacred code that he'd received, it vibrated different parts of the body. And when it was chanted fast, it created incredible vibration in the body and a sound come out of his mouth that was not from his conscious mind, okay? And then he worked with that and he realized that soul language is a universal language to connect with everything in creation. Now, Buddhists have known about this. When you hear Buddhist mantras, okay, a lot of them are soul language, okay? My Buddhist teacher knew about soul language, but she didn't know about how to access it this way. So when Master Sha asked to be Master Guo's disciple, when Master Guo, first Master Guo said no, and then he said, he sent him another letter, please, I want to be your disciple. And then a few weeks later, he gets a letter back, and the letter said, Jigang, which is Master Sha's first name, Jigang disciple. It's very interesting. I often reflect on this. Never forget your mother and your country. Okay. Then it said, we communicate through San San Jolio Bayawu 3396815. Master Sha thought it was a phone number. Then Master Guo adopted Master Sha. And as I've shared before, never spoke to Master Sha, treated Master Sha so cold for 12 years. This is him testing Master Sha's gratitude, total gold, they call it. Gratitude, obedience, loyalty, and devotion, purifying his ego. Every time Master Guo would enter the room, Master Sha would bow down on the floor. Master Guo wouldn't even look at him. But when he was going to bed, he'd go to Master Guo. Baba, I'm going to go to bed now. Master Guo wouldn't even look at him. Really cold. But Master Guo was saying, you communicate with me through San San Jolio Bayawu, okay, through soul language. So this is one of the foundational teachings of Master Sha now. This is what he brought to the West. So when we look at the teaching of Shen Qi Jing, okay, Shen, it represents soul, heart, mind. Qi is energy, Jing is matter. So the principle, the process, should I say, soul is the intelligence and the information. The receiver of the soul's information, whether it's intuition and receiving information from our own soul, or whether we're receiving information from a Shifu or a Buddha or Jesus or whoever it is, an ancestor, the heart is the receiver. The more closed the heart, the more cut off we are from the soul world. Okay, you see people who've been hurt and close their hearts, they become more hunched over, more attached to things, more atheist, more, if I don't see it, I don't believe it, so on and so forth. You see people who are open-hearted, they're naturally intuitive, more loving, they open themselves up, okay? The heart, science has proven this now as well, the heart houses the mind. So information from the soul received by the heart sends it to the mind, the receiver to the processor. The processor then directs energy. Okay, where attention goes, energy flows. So when the soul arrives, the heart arrives. When the heart arrives, the mind arrives. When the mind arrives, energy, chi arrives. And when chi arrives, matter arrives. So basically, mind directs the energy, energy moves the matter. This is the process. Now, the soul language is the soul's information communicating through this process. So when we chant San San Jolio Bao Yu and bring out our soul language, okay, it is the soul's frequency and vibration coming through the body as an instrument. It is the key to communicating with any soul. So you think about, let's say, for example, the heart, countless souls, blood cells, tissue, all these different cells in the heart. But there is an overriding information field that is the heart, that is the boss, if you like, or the leading soul or information field over all the other souls underneath it. Okay, the cardiovascular system has its one master soul, if you like, over everything within the system. Our level of consciousness is in control of everything in the body. Why am I sharing this? Because there may be many, many leaves and branches on a tree, but the actual full soul of the tree, you can do soul communication with. You might get one of the most profound messages for your life from the tree in the garden. Okay, you might have hundreds of thousands or millions and billions of blades of grass in a massive field or a meadow, but you can do soul communication with each one of them, or you could do soul communication with the soul of the meadow. There is billions of human beings. There is actually a universe, a collective, one human leader soul that you can communicate with. It's literally limitless. Don't let the mind limit what you can do with this. You can speak to any soul, anywhere, any star in the sky, anything, okay? This is the process. If we become mind dominated, there's imbalance here. So this is what happens. San San is the chest, vibrates the chest here. Jo is lower abdomen, 9. Liu is the ribs, which is 6. San San Jolio Ba is San San Jolio Ba is 8, the navel, and then Yao, which is 1, the head, and then Yo, which is the stomach. So this is what it's doing. It's starting here. It's going down, up to the ribs, to the navel, up to the head, down to the stomach. Your whole body is vibrating. You might get very hot chanting this mantra. And I'm going to share my story because it might help you guys on your way. The first ever retreat we did with Master Sha, I'd only just heard of him. I was atheist. I had a lot of questions. He comes on the screen and he did a blessing and got everybody to chant this, okay, to bring out their soul language. Me and Danielle, we start chanting this. And what you do is we're going to chant it as a mantra, but then you chant it as fast as you can. And then you lose attachment to the pronunciation. You just go faster, 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 faster. And then a sound will come out. You'll go blank. It's like the vibration for me blanks the canvas. There's no thinking mind. And then whatever comes through is your soul language, soul song. Okay. Now, first time I did it with Danielle, what do you think I was thinking? We're chanting this mantra and I'm thinking, I better get a bit quiet because the neighbors are going to think I'm mad. Okay. Ego. Okay. So here, go back here. My mind, sorry, I thought that was going to be a separate. My mind was over here and it was blocking the experience. Okay. I was too bothered about what the people were thinking. Danielle starts coming out with this sound I've never heard coming out of her mouth. Okay. Straight away, she got her soul language out. For me, it took me ages. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I actually made a commitment to chant it for a minimum of like 45 minutes a day because I can't trick myself, you see. So every time a sound was coming out, I would think, is that my mind? And then I go again, I go again, I go again. And then I remember the first time it came out, my experience was I was gone. Like the lights were on, no one was home. I was sort of like this, gone. And then when I came to my awareness, I was chanting something I've never heard before. Okay. This funny sound was coming out my mouth. I've seen people go tears crying their eyes out when they brought out their soul language. And they've had messages that their soul's been wanting to speak and communicate and guide their life for hundreds, maybe thousands of lifetimes. I've seen people who are running around in excitement, no control over their body. Okay, this is really profound and it should be used all the time. I can't emphasize enough the power of chanting your soul language, soul song. So this is from one of Master Sha's books. It's power beyond comprehension. It's powerful because it was created by the divine. When you chant this sacred code, the divine comes to help you. It has divine calling power. When you chant this sacred code, countless saints, Buddhas, healing angels, archangels, ascended masters, lamas, gurus, kahunas, and all of the types of spiritual fathers and mothers will respond. It carries a special vibration to stimulate the body in a sacred pattern. The sound of each number vibrates and stimulates the cells in a particular area of the body. So we've just been over that. Significance and benefits, okay. Soul language carries soul frequency and vibration, which can transform the frequency and vibration of our systems, organs, tissues, and cells. Soul language carries soul's love, forgiveness, compassion, and light. Soul language has great significance, power, including the following points. Soul language channel is a major spiritual channel that allows one to communicate with the soul world. Soul language carries soul love, which melts all blockages and transforms all life. So think about the power of that. Can melt all blockages and transform all life, not aspects of life, all life. Carries forgiveness, which brings inner peace and inner joy. Compassion, which boosts energy, stamina, vitality, and immunity. Carries light, which heals, prevents sickness, rejuvenates, and transforms all life, including relationships and finances. Is soul treasure for self-healing, your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical body. Is a soul treasure for boosting your energy, stamina, vitality, and immunity. And is a soul treasure for rejuvenate your soul, heart, mind, and body. Who's ready? So we're going to
the wording again, Nick, please.
Sorry?
We'll just have the wording again.
Of which one?
Page before.
Yes, San John.
Right.
There you go. Let me just make this bigger for you. See if I can make this bigger. Is that bigger for you guys?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. There you go. So it's San Jolio Bayawu. Okay. So let's go slow. San. So what we'll do is we'll do an invocation. Dear 3396815, San San Jolio Baya Wu. We love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Dear all souls connected to San San Jolio Baya Wu. Dear Master Guo, Master Shah, please be present. Dear, sorry guys, 1 second. Dear our soul, please bring out your soul language, soul song, so that we can communicate, so that you can guide my life. I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. So we'll just repeat it a few times slowly. San San Jolio Baya Wu. Dear all my spiritual transmissions and healing treasures, please bless everyone on the line and everyone who watches this to help bring out their soul language, soul song channel. Help their channel to bring out their soul language, soul song as appropriate. I'm very grateful. San San Jolio Baya Wu. 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 We'll sing it as a mantra first because the code itself carries a very sacred vibration. San San Jolio Baya Wu. San San Jolio Baya Wu. San San Jolio Baya Wu. Put your hand in the soul light era prayer position for this. Left hand just over the message center. Right hand in the traditional prayer position. San San Jolio Baya Wu. 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 Keep going. Via my soul language, soul song channel, please bless everyone on the line. San San Jolio Baya Wu. 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 See, so much light, nourishing the body, heart opening. Okay. Right? We're going to change the melody now. Okay. So stop, take a deep breath in. Relax, surrender. Hands in the soul light air position. San San Jolio Baya Wu. 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 Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio, bit faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, 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 Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, 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 Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, 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 Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't hold on to the words now. Faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, 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 Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Keep going. Faster, faster, faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, and then let go, let go, let go. Whatever comes out, let it come out. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Keep going. Slow down. Okay. Start again. Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu. 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 Faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu. 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 Keep going. I won't interfere now. You just keep going. I'll chant silently. Let it go. Let it go. Keep going. Hey, how? Everyone stop. Few deep breaths. Feel the body. Even if it didn't come out, feel the vibration, the yang movement of the body. Because after yang, feel how yin you go. Feel how still stillness feels, how quiet the mind is. We're going to go again, but that's okay. Feel the body and the mind. Don't have the mind cling on to the words, let it go. Again, Sansan Jolio Bayawu, Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Yin Yang alternation. I don't know who's at home with you. I don't know whether you're bothered about your neighbors or your husband or your wife in the house. I totally understand that. But if you can experience going loud and hard, okay, full whack, open your heart chakra up, your message center. Loud, let it all go. Then we'll go quiet again. And then we'll start again. We'll do this a few times, okay? Sansan Jolio Bayawu, 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 faster. Sansan Jolio Bayawu, 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 Sansan Jolio Bayawu. Faster. Sanjiri Bao, 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 faster. Sanjiri Bao, 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 Sanjiri Bao, Sanjiri Bao, Sanjiri Bao, Bao, Sanjiri Bao, 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 yo, 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 Sanjiri Bao, 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 yo, 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 Sanjiri Bao, 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 you, 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 you. You, hey, you, how? Back slow. Sansan Jolyo Bayawu. Sansan is a sacred code. Feel the vibration and the support. This is a divine code. Sansan Jolyo Bayawu. 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 Faster. Sanjay Bao, 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 faster. Sanjay Bao, Sanjay Bao, Sanjay Bao, Sanjay Bao, Sanjay Hey, I'll go quiet. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Louder, faster, let go. Louder, faster, let go. Louder, faster, let it go. Soul song come out. Soul language come out. Faster, 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 faster. Go, 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 go. You, yeah, yeah. Hey, you, hey, you, hey, you, hey, you. How? Silence. Feel the body. Feel the stillness. Allow messages to come into this emptiness, into this stillness. Fully present. You may even feel that you're sweating a lot. It's a massive detox, this mantra. Vibration pushes toxins out the body. Chant this for an hour a day. You may smell, you really push toxins out. Use this mantra to build a strong foundation. Invoke your lower dantian, for example. Put your focus there. Chant this mantra there. See light going there. To any of your chakras, you can use this mantra for everything. If this is the final mantra you ever learn, it can take you there. It is the key for soul communication. But we need a strong foundation when we do soul communication. For those who've done soul communication workshops with me, the first 2 days, or mainly the first day, it's like going to the gym. We do non-stop foundational practice. And then the next day, till midday, foundational practice. Then we do soul communication. And even after doing all that foundation, some students are literally cactus. They're lying on the floor because we're bringing in very high frequencies when we're communicating with the high-level Buddhas, the divine, Jesus made all these saints in a workshop all day. It's very tiring. We need a strong foundation. Another key thing is to have fun. Okay, have fun with soul language. You can offer, when it comes out, it may not have come out just then. I haven't heard anyone share yet. That's totally fine. Okay, work with it, keep going. You may have had an experience. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. But when it comes out, and even before it comes out, as a mantra, San Sanjolio Bayau, we can offer soul healing to anyone. You see an animal that's been hit by a car, you have your son or your daughters having nightmares, or your grandkids, or you have a relationship you want to heal. You can ask your soul to offer a blessing to any of those, anything. And you can chant San Sanjolio Bayau, and if your soul songs come out, you chant your soul song. It is literally unbelievable. It's beyond comprehension. And it's a natural state. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I was reflecting on the term supernatural, either this week or the week before. We think supernatural is this superhuman thing, but the word itself means it's very natural. It's to be so natural that we are supernatural. Our natural state is to be in communication with the soul world. Our natural state is to be telepathic, to have third eye images. Our natural state is to be intuitive, to be able to offer healing. This is what it means to be supernatural. It's returning to our nature. And not only are humanity so cut off from the soul world, so are the animals. 90% of the animals on the earth are farmed or in like national parks or being poached. They've lost their intuition. This is vital right now to open our spiritual channels and bring out our soul language. Does anybody want to share anything? I'll just open up your line and share whatever you want, how that experience was for you. Please share. Sharing helps everybody as well.
I loved it. I think it was great. I was laughing all the way through there, trying to get my words around.
Yeah, good. Laughter's good. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. How did you feel, Julie?
Really good. Really good. I still feel like I've got laughter in my body. It's good. It was really good.
That's good. Thank you for that. Anyone else?
Just me, Nick. So I thought out my soul language, but how do I develop it to sound like a lovely song? Because at the moment it just sounds weird.
Did you say weird?
Yeah, well, funny sounding. Beautiful, funny
The
sounding.
only reason I say that is because, remember, disasters come from our speech, and I'm the same. Okay, I've got to be more careful with my words. So we just got to be careful with how we speak about things. So yeah, it might sound however it sounds. That's totally fine. But just communicate. So you invoke dear my soul song channel. Okay, and dear my soul, please develop my soul song now, from soul language to soul song, and just keep chanting more. Okay, just keep chanting, just keep going more with San Sanjolio Bayau, and just you'll feel and you'll hear a melody come in. But don't just do this once off. Okay, don't underestimate the power of this, the power and significance of this. So I can't emphasize enough. dedicating, if you dedicated at least 20 to 30 minutes a day chanting this and trying to bring out your soul language, and when it comes out, chanting your soul song, I can't express how powerful that will be. You have just turned your soul, and I know everyone's a healer, I get that, but you have just literally turned your healing ability up quantum. Serious, just from releasing your soul language and soul song channel. So please keep going with this. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and all the rest of it. Sounds funny sometimes. It might be, you know, might take a while. It took me a while, that's okay, but just keep going, because you'll actually keep getting insights. And being able to communicate with any soul is a very profound practice. It's probably, in my opinion, the most profound thing I've learned from my teacher.
Can I just ask, Nick, so now you have your soul song.
Yep.
So does that mean that you can call upon that at any time, or do you have to do the mantra for a while first?
No, call on it anytime. You open, as that channel opens and opens and opens, you don't need, you won't need to chant San Sanjolio Bayo.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm happy to share, Nick. Just, yeah, I mean, I've used to also do it with the San Sanjolio Bayo wall, but yeah, and the more you do it, the more soul language you practice, the more powerful, I suppose, it becomes. And it will sound very different, but it's about not controlling what comes out. And that is the soul language. It's soul speaking to you, the soul speaking to others. So, and it, but often we use it now as a gift, like, you know, it's a blessing. So if I might do my Tao hands, I will chant my soul song or my soul language, and I can bless people with it when, you know, you have it. So it's very, very powerful. Like Nick said, it's very, very powerful, very beautiful, very freeing. And I'm now just learning through another study group that I'm in. We're actually learning how to hear divine speak to us through that soul language. So often we're doing it by just grounding, being in the grass or being in a, you know, so we're grounded to earth and doing your soul language or soul song, and then listening to whatever that message is that needs to come through. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvana. There's a number of different channels as well. You've got the third eye, direct soul communication channel, direct knowing channel. God, there's another one, I think. But basically, with you can translate as well, you see. So you can hear Master Shah's dream, okay? He said this for years and years and years. He says his vision of the future, what he would love, is to be able to get on stage and just sing his soul song and then leave. And everybody in the audience translates what his message is, because what's beautiful about soul language is when you translate soul language, everybody gets a message for where they're at. Okay. So, yeah, it's very profound. When you start doing soul communication, it's very profound. But I'm going to let you guys, rather than me share much, I want you guys to do some practice with it and then see how you go. Any more questions or want to share anything? No? So good. Okay. Well, it is 8:45. We've gone over quite a few chapters tonight. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up. I'll see you all next week. I appreciate you all being on the line.
Thank you, Nick. That was quite incredible tonight.
How did you go, Tracy, chanting?
Oh, I did get a charge, but I haven't had a message yet.
That's okay. That's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay. Don't try it. Like in Master Shah wrote a book called Soul Communication. Awesome book. Such a lovely book. If you can get hold of that, it's one of his earlier foundational books. And And in that book, he really emphasizes the importance of doing, I can't remember what it is. I don't know whether it's basically a minimum of 2 weeks, I think, of consistently building your foundation before you start communicating with like, you know, spiritual fathers and mothers. Because, like, for to give you an example, for my wife's always had open spiritual channels. Okay, so before we met Master Sha, every time we moved anywhere, she'd always see things that she didn't like. Okay, and I used to, you know, be the pain in the ass, not supportive husband who used to just tell her it was all in her head and things like that. But when we found Master Sha, like, you got to remember, like, Danielle, she didn't really have a religion. She wasn't interested in religion. Neither was I. Didn't even know what a spiritual teacher was, coming from England. But when we found Master Sha, spiritual channels opened up further, and she was seeing like, she was hearing a name, like she would hear Guan Yin, and she'd see an image, and then she'd go on the internet to see images of Guan Yin and just be like blown away. That was who she's seeing, and that who Guan Yin is, for example. And then she was doing that with all these different beings that were coming to her. But Master Sha said to her, he said, you have to do, if you have spiritual images that vivid. I always remember, I just shared a story, my first ever spiritual image, right? I remember I was chanting a mantra, and I saw, with my eyes closed, I saw like all these, it's like blotches of light in front of my face. And even third eyes can come in many different ways. They sort of, I was lost in a mantra, so I wasn't focusing on it, but they sort of came together and then formed a tree, right? And I looked up the tree, it was the tree that the Buddha sat under. But when I saw it, it was literally incredible detail. It was about this big, and there was like vibrational waves coming off it. And when them waves were hitting my body, my physical body felt like it was just shaking. And it pulled me out of being deep in meditation, and I panicked, and I was like, oh. And then I thought, oh, maybe this must be a third eye image. And I tried to keep going with it, but then it just like dissipated. So when I told Danielle the next day, Danielle was like, Nick, when I see like certain like Buddhas and things, it's like I can see the pores in their skin. It's so clear, you know what I mean? I remember when, you know, I used to get Master Sha's books and work through a lot of the practices. I was doing like 3 to 5 hours practice a day back in the early days. He's got a book, little pocket book called Sha's Golden Healing Ball. It's a healing, spiritual healing treasure that he was given when he went out to serve in the West and around the world. And I remember chanting that one night silently, right? I remember, because Danielle went to bed. But you got to remember, Danielle was like not sleeping. She didn't know how to stop seeing spiritual images. She was seeing spiritual images all the time. She was exhausted. But if you don't have a strong foundation, it's draining. Okay. Now you know, I don't know what you guys are like, but don't get scared by that. Danielle's got a really, really strong open third eye channel. Now with the Sha's Golden Healing Ball, one night she went to bed and I did a practice, the first time I'd ever practiced with this healing tool. So I invoked it and I'm chanting Sha's Golden Healing Ball, Sha's Golden Healing, silently, because Danielle was in bed. Anyway, you know, I was knocked out, fell asleep. Next day, gets up for work and sees Danielle in the morning. Danielle's like this, she's exhausted. And I said, what's wrong? She said, I can't do this anymore. I said, why? She said, the sun, it looked like the sun was in our bedroom, because I invoked it to stay in the house all night and protect the family, right? And she said, it's like the sun is in the room, and even with my eyes closed, I just can't sleep. And I was like, oh shit. But so my point is, it's very important before you start doing soul communication to build a strong foundation. But we want to be building a strong foundation anyway, because it helps us throughout life everything that's going on in the world. It helps us to be detached. It helps us to have an anchor. So just share a few stories with you. All good. We can wrap it up. So I'm sorry about tonight. A lot of talking tonight. I haven't shut up tonight. But any questions you can ask me, anything you want to ask me throughout the week, you can email me. It's all good. Or you can ask them in the chat group. Anytime you have insights throughout the week, everyone benefits from insights, okay? Everyone's experiencing life from their own perspective. Master Sha always says, sharing, you get a lot of virtue for sharing, okay? A rule of thumb as well, just with soul communication, if the message that comes through empowers, enlightens, and makes others and yourself happier and healthier, it's positive. If it creates any type of guilt or fear, just detach from it, okay? Could be influenced from something that's not serving us. That's okay, just no attachment. So that's just a little rule of thumb. But we haven't gone over full soul communication yet. We're just talking about bringing out our soul language and soul song. So thanks for tonight. I love and appreciate you all very much. And I'm always here. If you need me, just let me know. And I'll put this on YouTube as soon as it comes through. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Nick. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Nick. Very much appreciated. And the other soul language is the